Hello, my name is R.E Brune of the Spanish Guitar Workshop. I'm here in my home today with my dear friend and collaborator Chris Ladd, and we're doing some recordings. In a moment, you're going to get a chance to hear him on this magnificent 1981 Daniel Friederich, but before that, I'm going to tell you all about this guitar. This is a guitar that came to me from a friend of mine. I actually traveled to go acquire it for a client who I had been speaking with who was looking for one of these instruments. And once I got my hands on it and played it and signed off on it, I took it home and have been getting it ready for its new owner. Now, this instrument has some provenance. It was actually owned by the great French virtuoso Roberto Aussel. This was, I believe, his first Friederich, and it is an absolutely remarkable instrument. Now, in addition to its provenance, this guitar also has a little bit of a past, much like a lot of us. At some point along the way, somebody decided to put a end pin in the instrument, and this is often how things are with musical instruments as they move throughout space and time. Someone gets their hands on it and does something that people down the road might have wished they hadn't done. So when I got it, the instrument had a very large end pin through the tail block. It actually went through the tail strip, the rosewood, the purfling on both sides, and into the sides themselves. It was a rather large pin, and of course it was glued in there. The new owner and I had a discussion about that, and we both decided that it would be so much nicer if it wasn't there. And even though I never got a chance to meet Maestro Friederich, I would have to believe that he would have preferred that it not happen. And if it could be returned to as if it never happened, that would be in keeping with his wishes as well. So therein lies the question, is how to actually achieve that. The rosewood itself was not particularly challenging because I have quite a lot to choose from, but it does bring up an interesting problem when dealing with handmade instruments, which is trying to reverse engineer exactly what was done and what they did it with. In other words, the materials themselves. One of the things that makes Friederich guitars a little challenging sometimes to work on is the choices that he made, such as the dark stain that he would use often in his top finish. The top purfling has a broad band of a light-colored material, which I'm pretty sure is beech. It has a very unique refractive pattern in it, and this kind of flecking. I've never had to mess with that, and for that I'm super grateful. The purfling on the back and sides, I don't know if you can see it, but it's just a brown-white line, very conventional. And once I got into it, I realized that it was nothing particularly proprietary. It was just maple and rosewood. So once I was able to ascertain that, it made the repair a whole lot easier. I had come up with all sorts of very scenic route, shall we say, solutions to dealing with the purfling to salvage the original purfling, even though it had been bisected by this rather large hole. None of that was necessary, thankfully. It was just a question of making up something that matched the original. And if you can see, I think, it came out pretty well. I'm very pleased with the repair itself. The miters, as they were cut, are actually original to Friederich. I didn't have to touch that at all. The proportions of the panel and the purfling are exactly what was there before. It was really just a question of finding rosewood to match, to blend it in and make it look like it never happened, and then do the finish work to make that all disappear. I was already doing some French polish touch-up on the guitar anyways. It had a hairline crack in the back, which had been very well repaired, but was visible. So I made that disappear, and now it appears absolutely as original and utterly gorgeous example of Maestro Friedrich's work. I hope you enjoy Chris's recording on the instrument, and thank you for watching.